Let's get right to it. Number 10. Giraffes. You probably wouldn't expect it, but male giraffes figure out if a female is ready to mate by tasting her pee. Yeah, really. Giraffes don't have a set mating season. Instead, they go through a kind of hormone cycle, kind of like a human period, but for giraffes. When a male likes a female, he'll walk up behind her and gently nudge her, but with his head. Romantic, right? If she's interested, which she might not be, since giraffe moms carry a baby for 15 months, she'll respond by peeing right in front of his face. And the male? He's ready. He catches in his mouth and gives a good taste. Why? Because he can actually detect hormones in her urine to tell if she's in heat. If she is, he'll follow her around for the next few days, staying close and waiting for the perfect moment. He might even stay, well, excited the whole time and gently tap her legs to let her know he's still interested. When she finally stands still long enough, he'll hop on and boom, it's done. The actual mating takes about a second. That's it. 1 second of action after days of taste testing and tail following. Giraffes, man. Number 9. The agile Antechinus. Say hello to the agile Antechinus, a tiny, mouse-like marsupial found only in Australia. It lives on a steady diet of insects, and like most marsupials, it's got a handy pouch for raising its babies. But the real reason this little guy is famous? It's not for its parenting skills. It's for its absolutely bonkers love life. Every year during mating season, the male agile Antechinus goes into full beast mode. He stops eating, stops drinking, and becomes completely obsessed with finding a mate. Once he does, they can go at it for hours, sometimes up to 14 hours in a single session. While all that's happening, his testosterone skyrockets, so much so that it crashes his immune system. He starts bleeding internally, loses fur, gets infected with things like gangrene, and eventually he dies. All for love. Number 8. Cymex. While you're fast asleep, cozy under your blanket, there might be a tiny drama unfolding right under your nose. Somewhere in your mattress, a male Cymex is on the move. And he's not looking for food, he's looking for love. Once he finds a female Cymex, he climbs on top and does something, well, kind of horrifying. He stabs her in the abdomen with his needle-like penis and ejaculates directly into the wound. This lovely little ritual is known as traumatic insemination. Yeah, romantic, right? The whole thing usually happens at night. Perfect timing, since you're already lying right there. Males use chemical cues to find the females, but sometimes they mess up and accidentally stab other males or even the wrong species. Not exactly smooth. Once the sperm is in, it travels through her bloodstream, twisting and turning all the way to the ovaries to fertilize the eggs. But it's not that the males are evil. It's just that female Cymexes don't have a typical reproductive opening for receiving sperm. So, nature found a workaround. So next time you climb into bed, just remember, there might be more action going on beneath the sheets than you think. Number 7. Neotrogla. Did you know there's a little insect called Neotrogla where the females have something like a penis? Yep, you heard that right. Scientists call it a gynosum, and it actually gets erect and does the penetrating. Meanwhile, the males? They've got a small opening that's kind of like a vagina. During mating, it's the female who makes the first move. She inserts her spiky gynosum into the male's narrow opening and basically vacuums up sperm and nutrients. All that gets transported into her body through a special internal tube. And get this, their mating session isn't just a quick in and out. It can last anywhere from 40 to 70 hours. And if the male wants to call it quits early, tough luck. Her gynosum swells and locks in place with tiny hooks, making it almost impossible to separate without seriously injuring the male. In fact, if someone tries to force them apart, the male could literally be torn in half, while his genitals stay stuck to her. Brutal. But from a female's point of view, it's a pretty sweet deal. She gets sperm and a snack in one go. Evolution is wild. Number 6. Lophiiformes. When people think of anglerfish, they usually picture that creepy deep-sea creature with a giant head, a huge crescent-shaped mouth full of needle-like teeth, and that spooky little glowing lure dangling from her forehead. Well, surprise. That's the female. The male anglerfish, he's tiny, like 60 times smaller than the female, sometimes even more. He doesn't glow, and get this, he doesn't even have a proper digestive system. Basically, on his own, he wouldn't last long in the deep sea. So what does he do to survive? He goes full romance parasite. The male uses the female's glow and pheromones to track her down. Once he finds her, he bites into her belly and literally fuses with her body. Enzymes from both fish dissolve their skin, so their flesh can merge. Eventually, the male's body basically disappears, except for one thing, his testes. Yep, he becomes a pair of sperm-producing organs permanently attached to her like a weird biological plug-in. And the female? She's not monogamous. She can carry up to 8 of these tiny husband pouches at once, all neatly lined up, ready to release sperm whenever she's in the mood to lay eggs. Number 5. The leopard slug is a hermaphrodite, meaning it has both male and female parts. But funny enough, it still needs a partner to make baby slugs. No solo parenting here. On a dark, mysterious night, 2 leopard slugs lock eyes and fall madly in love. As part of their romantic ritual, they climb up a tree, find a good branch, and hang together from a thick strand of slime like some kind of acrobatic dance duo. Then comes the wild part. Both slugs slowly push out these massive blue penises, yes, from the sides of their heads, and start intertwining them midair. Their penises literally twist together like pasta in a plate of romantic spaghetti. That's how they exchange sperm. Once the exchange is done, they either climb back up their slime string or just let themselves drop into the grass like, well, that was intense. A while later, both slugs will lay eggs. That's right, both end up as parents. Number 4. Flatworms are hermaphrodites. They've got both male and female parts. Technically, they could stab themselves in the head with their own penis and self-fertilize. But let's be real, laying eggs is a lot of work. So what do they do instead? They pick a fight. When 2 flatworms meet during mating season, they whip out their penis swords and start fencing. The goal? Stab the other one and make them do the baby carrying. It's like,
you can't stab it, you're the mom now.
This fencing match can go on for up to an hour. Sometimes they both land a hit.
Surprise! You both have to give birth now.
They collect their gear and slink away like nothing happened. Number 3. Meet the New Mexican whiptail lizard, a species made up entirely of females. Yep, they're no males. So how do they reproduce? No dating apps, no awkward first dates. They basically just clone themselves. This process is called Parthenogenesis, which is a fancy way of saying, I don't need a man, I'll make my own baby. Before laying eggs, these lizards triple the number of chromosomes in their egg cells. That's like nature saying, we got this. The eggs then develop into baby lizards all on their own. No fertilization needed. It's like pressing copy-paste on their DNA. And here's the wildest part. Even though there are no males, the females still pretend to mate with each other. One might mount the other in a kind of mock mating ritual. Scientists think this might actually boost fertility by stimulating hormone production. So even in a world without guys, a little role play still helps. Number 2. Peacock spider, Australia's tiniest show-off. Seriously, it's only the size of a grain of rice. But what it lacks in size, it makes up for in fabulousness. Male peacock spiders are basically the disco balls of the spider world. They have these super colorful, flashy abdomens that they can fan out like a peacock's tail, up to a dozen vibrant colors, all packed into one tiny dude. Meanwhile, the females, well, let's just say they're more low-key in the fashion department. Now, when a male spots a lady spider, it's go time. He pops open that tail like he's hitting the runway, shakes his booty in a dramatic little fan dance, and waves his brightly colored legs in the air, all while staring her down with those big, sparkly spider eyes. It's like a spider-sized dance battle meets a rom-com. But here's the twist. This isn't just for love, it's a life or death performance. If the female isn't impressed by the dance, she'll straight up eat the guy on spot. No second chances. And even if she's into it, and they mate successfully, she might still eat him afterward. Love is dangerous out here. So every time a male peacock spider busts a move, he's literally dancing for his life. Number 1. The Humboldt squid is basically the deep seas gangster. These guys can grow up to 6 feet long, weigh as much as 110 pounds, and flash red and white when they're hunting, like their own built-in rave lights. They hunt in squads of hundreds, sometimes over 1,000, and have a reputation for attacking anything that moves, humans included. That's why people call them red devils. But here's the wild part. For such fierce predators, Humboldt squid have a surprisingly chaotic love life. When it's time to mate, the males don't bother with flirting or formalities. Nope, they just start shooting spermatophores. Think little sperm-filled darts at whatever's nearby. Male or female, it doesn't really matter to them. They just hope some of it lands in the right place. If it does, congrats, you're pregnant. Well, only females can actually get pregnant, but still awkward. Why so reckless? Because male Humboldt squid are basically sperm factories. They're constantly producing hundreds, sometimes over 1,000 spermatophores, and they're not picky about where they go. It's like a squid version of spray and pray. In other words, for the red devil of the ocean, love is less of a romance and more of a squid scattershot.